Hi. I'm going to be talking about leadership approaches. I believe I am a shared leader. That's my kind of style. I like to do things together with people. I don't like to be the only person in charge, but that's just kind of who I am. I think a leader is necessary, and that people need to know who to follow. But I also think that a leadership style where everybody can help out and everybody can lead is great. I'm going to be talking about CCF, which is Campus Christian Fellowship. Um, this is the group that I've been leading for a while. Actually, I just stopped it after 9 months, but this is who I've been leading for a while. So I'm going to be talking about them today. I started CCF about 9 months ago. My first week there was about 3 people there. My first thing I did was I appointed a student leader. I wanted to have someone at the student level that could help me out. I thought this person would be able to encourage others, bring others to the class. There's someone that the other students could go to on a pretty much daily basis because they're all together. And I thought the student leader would be able to help me understand the culture of this school because it was Full Sail University, a lot different school than most other schools. So I appointed Charlotte as my student leader, and now there's about 25 students. Last week was my last week. There's about 25 students there, and now we have a student worship band. We have a midweek Bible study, and we just have a lot of cool stuff. I think without a student leader and a shared leadership that I had, that the growth and the unity that the students have wouldn't have been able to come together. So a leader's necessary. A leadership style where others in the group are allowed to help is great. And it's only by shared leadership that I could have done that. I think making people feel significant is key. I like to use uplifting words. So in my first, my first point, when I appointed Charlotte as my student leader, she told me she didn't want to lead alone. She said she wanted another student leader with her to kind of co-lead. She also said she didn't want to pray in front of people, and I understood that. So in this instance, I encouraged her, and I took time with her and kind of talked to her through that. Through time, we did appoint another student leader, but they didn't do that great, and so and they kind of just fell off the bandwagon, and so Charlotte ended up pretty much being our only student leader. She ended up doing better and better as time went on, and she was okay with being kind of by herself as a student leader. I remember telling Charlotte, constantly, hey, you're the best, you're the great, you're awesome, I think I couldn't do without you, things like that. So I was trying to make her feel like she was significant in this group. Another guy in my group, his name is Marco. Marco, he was one of my students. He graduated actually last week. And so last week was his last time. Marco is an interesting guy. He is overweight and he has a stuttering problem. When he stutters when he talks to people. So he was one of the students that was actually there my first week, and he had been there for a little bit. He really kept quiet. He didn't talk to people. He came early and then left quickly after class started, or after class finished. I made it my mission to really open up to him. Every time I saw him, I would call out to him. Since his name was Marco, I would say Marco, and he'd say Polo. But I really looked out to try to find his interests. I looked online for his band. I listened to his music. I found that he really likes to talk on chat on Facebook. So I really tried to make it my mission to really open up to him. This guy who's no longer bashful. I mean, maybe a little bit, but he's no longer this bashful guy that we saw the first week. This last week, he hugged people, he talked to them, and he was part of the conversation to people. So I made it my priority to always make him feel significant. I feel that if you spend time with someone and encourage them, you can bring them to a place where they can lead and feel significant. I do think, even though Margot had a small part in it, I do think he was a leader in this sort of way of just kind of being one of those silent guys. So open up to your followers, spend time with them, learn about them, make it a priority for them to feel significant to you. That's what I think is really key in making them feel significant. And then encourage them and just make them feel significant. I think my next point is developing relationships are a must. You have to have relationships. In John Maxwell's book, Developing the Leader Within You, he said this is the step that you cannot skip. Just making relationships with people. Maxwell says leadership begins with the heart, not the head. It flourishes with meaningful relationships, not more regulations. So if you're wanting to have a good business or a good ministry, you really have to learn about your people. You have to make meaningful relationships, and just more regulations, more rules, more stuff, it's not really going to help. You can't skip this level. That's one of the things Maxwell talked about in his book. A lot of people like to go onto the production level or the people development or the personhood, which is level 5, which is really hard to get to. But people try to do this without getting, without making relationships with the people, and it's just not going to work. In my college class, I developed a relationship with one of the guys. His name was Dawson. He was a guy who, I pretty much made a good bond with. He didn't have a car, so I drove him around to different places like school and to church and to Bible study. So in these car rides, we got to talk to each other. So soon he started, asking questions and sharing his personal thoughts and his personal thoughts. And our relationship, it grew to a point to where he asked to study the Bible on a one-on-one basis. So after we'd studied for a while, a few weeks later, Dawson decided that he would get baptized. I really think this had to do with me starting the relationship with him first and getting to the point where he trusted me, not because I was the, quote, college minister, but because we had become friends. So I think just making that relationship actually saved someone. I believe to have a long and effective leadership, you must, make personal relationships to the people you are leading. Loyalty and growth will come from that. How can you love? How can you lead people without loving them? It's just not going to happen. And the followers, they'll learn to love the leader, and they'll become loyal to the leader. So you got to do these. You got to really make relationships